Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Maybe you're thinking about rolling over your 401k, or maybe you've just inherited some money and you're really not sure what to do with it. Where do you go for advice? Well, you probably mention it to a friend and they have some ideas. Your brother-in-law has opinions about index fund. A coworker swears by the allocation she chose last year. Your neighbor tells you that his guy at the bank said, and before long, you've heard from 5 people, none of whom really know your full financial picture. I've seen this happen with clients for decades, but only recently learned a term for it. Cindy Barla Graham, an experienced family law attorney in Amarillo, Texas, who practices collaborative divorce, calls these shadow advisors. The term describes anyone outside your professional relationship who's influencing your financial decisions, usually without your advisor's knowledge. Shadow advisors are almost always well-intentioned. They care about you. They're trying to help. They're often working from the basis and lens of their own fears, their experiences and biases, which may have nothing to do with your actual situation. I saw this constantly when I sold real estate early in my career, decades ago. I would show a house to a couple who just loved it, and by the next morning, the deal was falling apart. His father had concerns about the foundation. Her coworkers said they were paying too much. A neighbor warned them about the school district. The advice was almost never based on anything specific to the transaction. It came from the shadow advisor's own story projected onto someone else's decision. The same thing happens with investments. The break room at work is one of the most active shadow advisory firms in the country. Someone mentions their 401k and suddenly 3 people are recommending funds based on what worked for them last quarter. The advice is confident, specific, and completely untethered from the listener's age, risk tolerance, time horizon, or overall financial picture. What makes shadow advisors so powerful is the trust that they carry. You may respect your financial planner, but you love your sister. You've known your college roommate for 30 years. The emotional weight of those relationships can easily override professional guidance, especially when the professional guidance involves patience, complexity, or sitting with uncertainty. There's also a part of you that may seek reassurance from the people that are around you and those who will agree with you. If a part of you is anxious about the market, a professional telling you to stay the course may not be as comforting as a friend who validates your anxiety and says, "I moved everything to cash and I sleep great." Today, the internet is another shadow advisor at everyone's fingertips. If you ask AI and other high-tech tools for financial guidance, you'll get confident, specific answers that sound authoritative. Yet the advice carries no accountability. And it may be inaccurate or utterly irrelevant to your needs. Shadow advisors don't have to be a problem. In some cases, they can be brought into the conversation. That's right. They can be brought in. If a family member has a genuine knowledge base or carries enough emotional weight to influence your decisions, it may be better to include them than to pretend they don't exist. The key is transparency. Hidden outside influence can work against the process, while sharing the shadow advisor's opinion with your financial professional and asking them to weigh in can sometimes work with the process. If you're working with a financial professional and you're also getting input from shadow advisors, I suggest telling your advisor whether the input is right or wrong. The advisor can't help you navigate what they can't see. Bringing your informal sources of advice out of the shadows is likely to result in better financial decisions. Thanks for listening.